small amp.
Let's turn them all off and we'll have a little talk. Z switched off. Okay. I hit the master switch and shut everything down. Always good to have a master switch. Now, I have always wanted to have a Lionel F3 Texas Special. And it's really too big for this track, this layout. And what you're looking at is a gift from a friend who had a lot of Mike's Train House. And this was originally a Western Pacific. And when Mike's Train House first came out, it was impossible to find extra shells. They knew that people wanted to buy the shells and just buy one rail. This is a Rail King, by the way. Wanted to buy one Rail King, working Rail King, and have 3 different trains by buying extra shells. So they weren't interested in doing this. But you can get them on eBay now. And I found this and just finished installing it. Found out it did not quite fit. So I'm guessing that this shell was perhaps for a newer version of the Rail King, because the top of the cannon motors spin and they're hitting the top of this shell. So I had to raise this shell up a bit, and you'll see it's there's quite a gap there, but it really does look beautiful. And of course I had to play some of my corny Bob Wills music for Rose and San Antone, because this is the Texas Special. All the trains running today, all locomotives are Texas Specials. And behind this, 204A was the shell number for the Texas Special. For the Mike's Train House is the 210 Lionel Alco Texas Special. Let's move that out a bit. You can see it. And nice thing about the F units, same with Lionel, same with Mike's, is they give you a little more detail. They put the Frisco on there, the MKT on there. By the way, if you ever go to San Francisco, don't call it Frisco. To the natives, they don't like it. I have no idea why. I lived there for 15 years, and I was corrected by a friend, and I never used it again. The term, I think it's an endearing term, but people who live there don't seem to like it. So anyway, we'll get back on subject. I'm not in the market for new locomotives, particularly Mike's Train House, and nothing against Mike's Train House, but I do like my old pre and post war trains. I'm just used to them. I have learned to repair this Texas Special. Actually, Western Pacific, and all I've had to do is replace the batteries, which are the memory, and now I believe they sell a bubble memory for about 25 bucks, 35 bucks, something like that, and it's probably lasts the rest of its life. I have replaced one computer chip in this, and it was a recall from the factory. I never had a problem with it, and I did it for the previous owner. He had no idea how to do it, and I'd worked with electronics for years, so I didn't have that problem. But put the new chip in and it ran just as good as it did before. This has been a very good locomotive. I didn't run it with sounds today because it's stuck in brake, squeal mode, and I have to find the original pamphlet to get it out of that mode, but it'll drive you crazy. So anyway, let's get back to Lionel. Here's my little 210 Texas Special. This was made in 1958 only, and it's a 3-position E unit and a 2-axle magnet traction. So if you're looking for, you see a lot of these online, they all look the same, but most of them are 211s, like my 211 up here I've had since I was a kid, and you'll see very little difference. I suppose I could bring that around, get a closer look at it. Difference with the 211 is it was made in 1962 to 1966. You can probably tell by my hesitation, I'm looking at my notes. And it varied. The first year it had magnet traction. I'm not sure if it was 1 axle. This says 1 axle magnet traction and a 2-position E unit. And so obviously cheaper, less desirable. Then it went to no magnet traction. Went to a weight in the back, and which is much less desirable if you want to pull a lot of cars. So I've had this since I was a kid, the 211. See, sitting up top, and it's been a very reliable locomotive. I've only had this 210 for about a year, and I'm amazed by the pulling power just from the extra axle. So if you're looking online, you go to a train show, I would recommend the 210 over the 211. Now, it only takes 5 minutes to change the drivetrains on these. So let's turn this off so I don't have such a hum. There. You take one little screw out of the back and shove this forward and it lifts right off. And you line up the slot with the lever for the lockout and put the shell back on. Very easy to work on, but very easy to change the drivetrains, which means if you're buying them online or you go to a train show, you're going to have to watch it. You might look at an old 1962 or 63 Lionel catalog, and it'll show this 211 with magnet traction, and I don't think Lionel catalogs always said 2-axle magnet traction, I'm not sure, but you could wind up with 1-axle magnet traction or no magnet traction. So take your paper clip, touch it to the bottom wheels, and if it sticks, when I say bottom, I mean the rear of the train where the motor sits, and if it sticks to these wheels, then you know it's got magnet traction. So I can't say enough about magnet traction. I've never had high trestles where the train is climbing the trestle like in the old Lionel ads, so I don't know how well they climb, but they hold the curbs and they're highly unlikely to derail. Mike's Train House uses traction tires, and I've had nothing but problems with some newer model Lionels. When I had them, I no longer have them. Did away with them. K-lines, they throw the traction tires. This Mike Train House's little Rail King has never done a traction tire. I want to say one other thing. This is way out of scale. Now, it may appear to be higher than my Alco. That's because the outer track is about a 1/4 inch higher than the inner track. This is O scale 031. You can also get 031 in the lower version, lower profile, but it's probably about 3/4 of an inches longer than the Lionel Alco, which of course is not true to scale itself, but it's really small. But for a guy with a little layout, it's absolutely perfect. It will outpull these Lionels. I could probably put cars all the way around this track and up to the front of this locomotive and it would pull all those cars, and it would pull them smoothly. But so I want to compliment Mike's Train House on a good item. I just like the old stuff. So as you can tell, I have not even attached this shell to the frame. It's just sitting on there loose because I'm going to put the Western Pacific shell back on there, pack it away in its original box, and get it out when I want to. But I've run out of things to say about the Texas specials. These are my favorite of all my trains. Western Pacific and the Texas Special are my favorites. Love the Lone Stars on the hoods. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope my jibber jabber didn't bore you. Hope you learned something. And once again, this has been a Big Lizard production. Bye-bye.